welcome to the Bill Mason Show. It's March 19th, 2020. Very, very, very grim stuff going on in the United States right now, Bill.
Yeah, it's looking like our daily life is about to be impacted by the normal. As you can see, I'm the only one in this bar right now. I mean, I'm here by myself. I have no but cheers to myself.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it looks like National Guard's pouring in. We have a video of in Chicago bringing all the equipment in. Let's take a look at that.
Yep.
You're ready.
Okay, go.
Sears Tower in the background.
This was today, by the way.
Yep, sounds good.
It's earlier
You
today.
can see the Sears Tower in the background.
Dude, look at how many Hummers there are. What are you talking about? This is crazy, dude.
It's going down.
Oh, it's going down. That's it.
It's going down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a presence, I think, on the streets sooner than we think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the death toll is rising. We're going to go over the numbers in a minute. Doctors don't know what they're doing. Some doctors aren't even prescribing anything for these people that test positive. They have no clue. All they have to do is Google it and they'll find out.
Yeah, but I think they're being told that these test kits are like gold, and they're really saving them for like extreme cases, you know, and the real thing is, if I had it, I would want to know early. Okay, I would want to know right away to reduce the spread and all the things that go with it. But it seems that, like, I tried to get tested when I had a cough, and like I said, I did telemedicine. I went online with my doctor or whatever, and he said, "Sorry, I mean, you and everyone else wants to be tested. You have a cough, you have no fever, and you're just gonna hydrate and take your temperature. That's it." Now, could I have spread it to my whole household in the meantime? Yeah. Would I have taken different precautions? Absolutely, if I was tested. You know, but I did my best, and I'm still, fingers crossed, no fever, the cough's going away, I feel good. Who knows if the pneumonia's coming? I don't even know about that, but I mean,
you feel bad, you get better, then you feel worse.
And then you feel worse. So the thing is, if you are making decisions for the public and you're watching these like spring breakers who are out there partying like it's, you know, nothing's going on in the world. It's just a sunny day and you have nothing to worry about. That doesn't help them contain this virus as a governmental organization. It doesn't help at all. Even though they're healthy enough to maybe carry it and kick it, they could spread it like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we have a video of them they don't care. I mean, it's like, who cares? Who cares if I pass it over to mom or grandma or whatever? Because,
right.
So, and then, you know, 50% of the people that are in the hospital are under 50 years old. So they think they're invincible.
A guy in Philly was 32 years old, passed away. And that's like, to me, that's prime lifetime right there. I mean, if you're dying at 32, man.
It's true. Let's take a look at the spring breakers, see what they say.
Yeah.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying. You know, we've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while. About 2 months we've had this trip planned. 2-3 months. So we're just out here having a good time. Whatever happens, happens.
Like, it's really messing up with my spring break. What is there to do here other than go to the bars or the beach, and they're closing all of it? It's really messing up. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion. I think it's doing way too much.
Doing us bad. We need a refund. This virus ain't that serious. It's serious. It's more serious things out there like hunger and poverty, and we need to address that.
Yeah, I mean, we planned this a long time ago, and it was kind of up in the air if we still go, but like, we're here. I just turned 21 this year, so I'm here to party, so it's kind of disappointing, but we're just making the most of it. We met these other people in our little Airbnb spot, so we're just hanging out with them and trying to get drunk before everything closes.
I mean, it sucks, but we're gonna make the best of it. We're enjoying ourselves. It sucks, and I'm from New Orleans, so this really sucks. However, we're gonna enjoy ourselves. We having day parties all day. It's my birthday, St. Patrick's Day. Turn up.
We're just trying to roll with we're just living for the moment. We're just gonna do what happens when it happens. When stuff closes, we're gonna do it when it closes. But besides that, we're just trying to have the best trip we can.
And they are having a great time.
Well, the thing is those are the decision makers. When I'm in a wheelchair, those guys are going to be making decisions for me, and that's scary to me. I'm like, come on, guys.
Very scary. We're in trouble.
Unreal, man.
Well, we have a video of a person that's in the hospital, and he's telling us about the symptoms of what he's getting, and it's pretty kind of, which I didn't realize, that if you lay down you feel better, but you start to die more. You have to get up and move around, but then you feel a lot worse. So let's take a look at this video.
Okay.
Well, actually, I run on an elliptical for an hour every day. And my diet is really strict. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've never done drugs of any kind. I'm super healthy. Even my heartbeats per minute at rest are 40 beats per minute.
Oh, wow.
So I'm in pretty good shape. And the virus was like, oh, I'm going to fix you. You think you're healthy? Let me show you what I can do to healthy people. And it started turning my lungs to glass.
That is such an incredible way to describe it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The more I rest, the sicker I got. And it's really weird because it lets you feel better when you lay down, when you breathe slow. But the whole time, your lungs and your body is defeating the whole purpose. You start to turn to glass and it crystallizes, and more of your lung capacity is taken away from you. But when you get up to move, your air drops to half, your air consumption, you choke, you throw up, the pain, the headache, everything comes back when you move. But that's what keeps you alive. It helps your immune system to fight back. But the virus makes you feel good about laying down. It's almost like a high, because you get this feeling that I just want to lay here forever. But you know, if you breathe, you're getting less and less and less oxygen, and sooner or later you're going to go into respiratory failure and cardiac arrest. So you have to move.
So they make you get up then?
Oh my God, yes, they make you get up. And when they make you get up, you throw up, you cry like a little baby. And I can remember the first time it happened. After I threw up, I could breathe. So the next time around, I tell the nurses, no matter how much I beg, do not lay me back down. Make me go through it. It takes about 20 minutes to go through one of those episodes. But once you get to the other side of it, you can breathe a little bit better. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. You think you're gonna die during one of those episodes. You know you're gonna die, but then you don't. When just the opposite, when you lay in the bed, the fever goes away, the headache goes away, the body pains go away. You feel this relief come over your whole body, and it's killing you.
Wow. Kevin, I have never heard anybody explain these episodes as well as you just did. Now I can see why there's such panic and alarm about ventilators and why people need ventilators and they're afraid they don't have enough in the hospital system in the United States. Did you have to be on one?
No, they did everything they could to keep me off a ventilator. And that's, another one of those misconceptions. I know they're only trying to help and keep people from panicking. But if you don't breathe on your own and your immune system does not kick in, you are going to die.
Kevin, I think that your words can be a big wake-up call for a lot of people who might be gallivanting around on a beach or, out saying, oh, I'm young. You got some advice, I bet?
Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't know I had the coronavirus. I thought I had the flu. Even when I came in the hospital, every doctor in this hospital said, you don't have the symptoms. It's not that bad. It doesn't go this way. It doesn't go that way. You have some very, very bad pneumonia. Until 3 days later when the test came back and they're all sitting there with their mouths open like, we don't know what to do. When your doctor says to you, there's nothing we can do and you need to pray and beg God for mercy, I never heard a doctor do that before, but I heard that.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's some serious stuff, honestly, and it goes right with the things that I've been hearing from people that have tried to get tested, that have had shortness of breath, tightness in their chest, things like that. They really will say, "I don't think you have it. It's flu season. Go home." Do the thing. So the thing is, hydrate and take your temperature. Hydrate and take your temperature. And obviously, these numbers will skyrocket if they actually tested everybody with tightness in their chest.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I told the doctor today that there's a pandemic going on because she wouldn't test a certain patient. So they're I don't know what they're thinking as far as if you have some symptoms, go through the routine, check it if it's a flu or not. If it's negative, test them for the virus, for the coronavirus.
Yeah, because how can you react, even if they don't admit you in the hospital? If you leave there with a positive diagnosis, you're going to go home, and before you expose yourself to any of your family, you're going to do something totally different. You might even call your spouse and say, "Honey, I'm renting a hotel room tonight. I'm positive." Because you don't really know how to do it when you go home. Now, when they send you home and they say, "Yeah, you got flu-like symptoms or whatever," and now there's 5 people with it, or 4 or 3, however many are in your house. It's so simple.
It is. Well, let's take a look at the total deaths here. What's going on? All right, so United States has 187 deaths. That's that's for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And let's take a look and see. We have 13,671 cases.
Right, in the country.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so let's go to the other map. So let's take a look at Italy first. Italy has...
Oh my God, 41,000.
41,000. And just look at this, 3,405 deaths. That's the same amount of, almost the same, a little bit more than China. So we know now for a fact China has lying all this time.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. The reports of over 100,000 deaths are probably accurate.
Yep.
So we have Italy, then we have Iran. They have over 1,000 deaths. I understand that's low too as well.
Yeah.
And then the United States actually is 200 deaths now.
Yep.
And 13,159 infected. So we're slowly creeping up on this scale here. We're probably going to be up there behind China before long.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time because as we can see, the people that we know personally, my personal experience, I know you have a personal experience, the people that do have flu-like symptoms are not being tested. It's still the case.
Yeah, they're not being tested, and of course, our population is a lot bigger than Italy. We have 350 million people.
Oh yeah.
And then China, of course, has what was it?
1.8 billion.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're not even reporting anymore. They're not telling what's going on over there at all.
Right. Right. And actually, they were tooting their own horn because they had a 0-case day.
Right.
Just because they stopped reporting, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's probably a million people that have it over there, and probably a couple 100,000 deaths.
Well, here's the thing. I've been hearing stuff. This is just social media type stuff, but Italy is doing the socialized medicine thing because they have a lot of ICU beds. They have way more than actually the United States. They just did a study that Italy has 60 to 65,000 intensive care units. The whole United States doesn't even have 20,000. So we're in worse shape. But Italy is in a place where they are picking and choosing who gets intensive care. And I hate to say this, but if you're 75 years old, you are not going to ICU. They're not doing it. They're rating you on like a longevity scale, which happens in socialized medicine. It just does. They
Right.
look at you when you eclipse your 60th year like you're less valuable.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're picking and choosing. They're trying to save the younger generation.
Exactly. They're like, oh, this guy has 3 young kids. We're gonna save him.
Mm-hmm.
You're 78 years old. No one cares about you.
Right. Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. So it's only going to get worse. National Guard. Hopefully, they're going to come out with a vaccine. They have a vaccine in the works right now in trial phases.
I think from what I heard, the trials they're paying people, they're going to human trials. A lot of countries pulled back their regulations to let this type of thing happen in the wake of coronavirus. They're also using malaria drugs that have worked to battle that, and China has actually clamped down on some of the drugs that they produce in response to some of this other I guess media stuff that's going on, this blame game that's going back and forth, because Trump actually, I guess, showed his hand and said, well, we can get a lot of drugs made in Ireland, and I just saw a report that Ireland can't get their ingredients shipped from China. There we go.
Wow. Well, I mean, we have to get the drugs from somewhere. We're going to start producing them here.
This is a learning experience, if nothing else.
Right. So Trump talked about that the other day, doing production for things that we need here that's shipped over from China.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get that done soon. But of course, it takes time to ramp that stuff up.
It takes time, and there's always people in the way. I mean, one thing that I notice is anytime you want to make progress, okay, you want to move something forward, or you need to make a new policy. Well, of course, there's people in the way that fought for the old policy, and that's what stinks about politics, and that's the reason why no one's getting this immediate funding. Like, even though Congress, okay, they passed this immediate aid bill and all this stuff for the people out of work, you're looking at getting these checks, so to speak. You're going to get them in May at best. So you're going to suck it up for at least a month before anything happens. And that's bureaucracy. And that's what happens. And it's everywhere. It's state, it's local. There's just layers and layers of bureaucracy that's in the way of this.
Right. Yeah. There's always layers of bureaucracy, and they're trying to remove that, but it's still...
It's a battle.
It is a battle.
A battle for liberty.
Now, we do have a video here, people having fun with the coronavirus. Let's take a look at this video, okay?
Oh, the doomsday preppers.
Yes, very good. Here we go.
Doomsday preppers. Everybody thought they were crazy. Everybody talked about guys who had, 3 months of water and 96 cans of beef stew. Right. Everybody made fun of those guys, but now they're like,
yeah,
maybe they weren't crazy.
Yeah. Problem is, when you open that can, it could be kind of black.
Well, I mean, I rotate my preps. I'm a prepper. I rotate them. I break down. I say, you know what, I'm going to eat this beef stew because it's 3 months old, and then I'm going to buy something else. So if you're rotating your preps, I think you're okay.
Yeah, well, I do a little bit of prepping. So I had seen noodles, in the bottom of the pantry. I kept them, a big box of noodles. Yeah. I opened it up the other day. The peas were black.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to throw it away.
I mean, some of that stuff, it does happen, especially if it's not really prepared, for long-term storage. So I'm going to go this route. Like most people that aren't preppers, when you go to the food store, that stuff, you can buy that in bulk if you want to. You can buy a case of ramen noodles or something like that. That's not meant for long-term storage. It's not packed that way. It's meant for immediate consumption.
Right.
When you buy something through like Wise or Patriot Supply, that stuff's meant for years of storage.
Right.
Vacuum sealed, the air's taken out, There is a difference. There definitely is.
It is, definitely. Long-term storage is a good thing to do. Food supplies. Let's talk about Biden. Let's look at his poll numbers, okay?
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine he's still polling.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, of course, he's the only one left in the race. It didn't. Sanders suspended his campaign, but
yeah,
Biden's numbers have actually gone down since then.
Yeah, which makes sense because the fight now is to get the Bernie Bros, some of the Bernie Bros, to come to the Biden side, and they are staunch Bernie guys. The thing about the Bernie Bros is they're anti-establishment. They're borderline anarchists that will never go with Biden, and they don't realize that, but I know they want that. So that dip in Sanders and that dip in Biden, I think that's the disappointment of the Bernie Bros.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, but it is following the stock market again, looks like, because there's a stock market.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's still at 20,000. I mean, it's fighting to survive that 20,000 mark.
Yeah, look at that tank.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the poll for Biden. I mean, look at Biden's numbers again. Look at this tank. So he had a tank right here.
Yeah.
Did a Yui. Now he's tanking again.
It's right there. It's around the same time, February, and then boom, he just climbed.
So we know now that Biden loves walls. There was a video out.
He used to be, you know.
So let's take a look at that and see what he had to say about the walls. Here we go.
He'll say anything to get elected.
Voted for a fence. I voted unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it. I voted for 700-mile fence. But let me tell you, we can build a fence 40 stories high.
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
I voted for a fence. I voted unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it. I voted for 700-mile fence. But let me tell you, we can build a fence 40 stories high. Punish American employers who knowingly violate the law when in fact they hire illegally. The reason why why I believe the fence is needed is not related to immigration as much as to drugs. I'm the guy that wrote the National Crime Bill. I'm the guy that wrote the National Drug Act. I'm the guy that wrote the law that set up a drug czar. And let me tell you something, folks. People are driving across that border with tons, hear me, tons of everything from byproducts from methamphetamine to cocaine to heroin. It's all coming up through corrupt Mexico.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime.
And I would argue, I feel almost obliged to apologize for some of what my political colleagues have said. It is about Mexico, about the Mexican people. And by that standard, 11 million undocumented aliens are already Americans, in my view. Lies about immigrants, about crime, about cost to the community. It's about a sick message. This message has been tried.
He's something else, man.
He is. He's crazy.
He has flip-flopped in his career to every possible angle of getting elected. He really has no shame. He is the quintessential career politician. You know? I don't want to tout Bernie, but at least Bernie stuck to the sinking ship. You know, Biden won't let his ship sink. He goes to Montana. He talks about Second Amendment rights. He goes to Chicago. He talks about black people and Baptist churches and civil rights marches that he went to. I mean, he shifts gears like nobody's business.
He does, and he can't talk anymore. Let's take a look at that.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Tomorrow's superstar Tuesday. All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other Biden. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont? One of the things I'm proudest of is getting passed, getting moved, getting control of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm the guy that came back after meeting with Deng Xiaoping and making the case that I believe China would join if we put pressure on them. You had people like Margaret Thatcher, you had people like the former chairman and leader of the party in Germany. Go to Joe 30330. Watch what happened when those kids from Parkland came up to see me when I was vice president. They went and some of you covered it.
So Biden tells this story, or some version of it, a lot. He says that, he went on this military trip and it was dangerous, but he wanted to go anywhere, and he goes to the Konar province of Afghanistan, and he hears about how this man had climbed down into a ravine to rescue a fallen soldier, and he comes back up and he doesn't want to get this medal because he feels so heartbroken that his fellow comrade has fallen. That's about 3 different really heroic war stories, all kind of pushed together into one anecdote.
Joe Biden has made all sorts of statements about his activism in the civil rights movement. Now, in the beginning of his career, he made similar statements that he's making today on the campaign trail, and then he got caught lying. And for a huge chunk of his political career, he stopped telling those lies.
This day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto. The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
No,
my point is,
that's not true. The other one is here.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night.
The old record player.
Oh my God. I would be, if I was like a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, I would be so upset that he's my only option.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting all my eggs in the Biden basket. Are you serious?
He might not be the only option. Hillary's waiting in the wings.
You know what? He did hint to that because he said his running mate would be a female.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be Hillary.
Apparently, he promised Kamala Harris something. Now, I'm not saying it's VP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be secretary of something,
right,
in his cabinet. Because you'll notice that all of these people that drop out all of a sudden start supporting him because they're hoping for a position.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's so blatantly obvious, but I, as a thinking person, and I know that there are Democrats out there that consider themselves a thinking person, how do you put your eggs in the Biden basket?
Right.
It is a scary, scary thing.
Very scary.
It's crazy.
So we do have. Do you still have your toilet paper, right?
I've dipped into it a little bit, but I am safely above the mark.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure because it's still out nationwide. Looks like. So we do have a video here of people looking at the toilet paper aisle. Let's take a look at this. There you go. They're playing the Titanic song at the toilet paper aisle.
Honestly, I love that there are people out there that are willing to walk into like a Walgreens with their violin and ready to make that video. I mean, there is a place for humor still in these tough times.
There is.
Where people want to make fun of the ridiculousness of the human condition.
Right. That's true. So hopefully we get some toilet paper in pretty soon. I know they're trying to make it up in the paper mills in the north.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. All right, so that's the show tonight. Do you have any last words, Bill?
I want to tell all our listeners to be safe. Just if you don't have a mask or anything to protect your airways or anything, take the stairs. you work in an office, take the stairs, don't use the elevator.
Do not.
You know, there are things that you can do that can make or break your situation in life. I know some people still have to go to work. I mean, there's a lot of things that are closed, but there's a lot of people that are on the essential side of this economy. You know, there are people that have to go and show up to work regardless of what goes on in the world, and I still need those people. Like, I'm a truck driver, and people need me right now. People need me to drive and get things where they go for the time being. But I mean, you know, I have to keep myself healthy so I can do that. You know, that it's something to be said about, you have to take a personal investment in your own future. And that's probably what gets America through this. We're not a socialist country. We're not relying on a collective people to get us through this. We are each individuals. We have individual rights. We are individual people. We make our own decisions. But that's really important. And that's what's at stake. I mean, we need to keep that. We need to prove that we can handle that and make life after this virus exist. And that's all I have to say.
All right. Well, I second that. Enjoy, everybody, the living room. Hope you enjoy if you're being shut in for the virus.
Some people have weeks of it.
That's right. So hopefully it won't last long, but it looks like it will. And please subscribe. We'll be on the show on Tuesdays and Thursdays again. And you have a wonderful night.
Good night, America.